Hola, it's Rick in Seattle. What I did here, I put burnt umber and yellow ochre. I mixed it kind of equal and just put a thin layer on with a larger brush. This should only take you a few minutes to put this on with the large brush. And then what I did was then I wiped it down with a paper towel to get rid of all the white in there. It's just an undertone for a landscape. It'll help out. Uh, I'll show you what I mean, what I get when I get to it. But today I want to focus on the mountains, because the mountains took me a long time to get used to them, how to put the snow up there and everything. And let me put up a few mountain peaks up here with the charcoal pencil. I'll put some jagged uh, tops up here so I can kind of, that way I can show you how to put the snow up on all these peaks, okay? It'll save you years of grief, okay, if you learn this technique. It also works with oil paint. So this is acrylic. So today we're doing acrylic paint. Uh, Using acrylic brushes. This is number 12 filbert. Just to get, it gets a lot of, if you got a lot of paint to put up there, I use a larger brush. And I'm just going to put it up there very quickly and loose. It's a landscape. You don't want to be up here trying to do everything in detail. So let's get a blue sky going up here. And I'll show you how I do it. I already mixed ultramarine blue and some white here. I mixed some colors already so the video doesn't take too long. And I have a little bit of the water in here with some flow additive, which it helps the paint flow. Like once we get all the paint on, then you won't need the water anymore. But this is the flow additive is good for getting your first color down, okay? So I'm going to put some blue up here. Ultramarine blue. I'm going to grab a little white and kind of bring it in from the sides a little bit. Just like that. Just a little titanium white. Maybe having like a blue, the center of the painting in here will be blue. Maybe we'll run like a white cloud across here after it dries and all that. What I like to do now is I like to lighten up the horizon down here. So I'm going to wet my brush a little and grab some more white and try and pick up some of this blue here and bring it down to the mountains. Just like that. Really simple sky. I'm just barely getting my brush wet and grabbing a little bit of white. You can add different colors in here if you want. If you put a little yellow in here, it would look like maybe like a sunset. But today I just want to have like a blue spot right in the middle. Just like that. Look at that. See how the undertone kind of comes into play there? It comes through the blue. We'll see what happens when this dries. So this video is pretty much about the mountain. So I'm going to put the mountain in now. I mixed, this is Payne's Gray. I mixed a little white in there. So it's still pretty dark. And let's just get the tops of our mountains put in with this Payne's Gray. Okay. Just get the tops painted in. Dip your brush in a little bit of water. If you don't have any additive, water's fine. Now let's start bringing it down a little bit. Just bring the color down. Just a little bit, because now I'm going to grab a little white now. Let's grab a little titanium white on the same brush. Don't even wipe it off. Just grab a little white. And at the very bottom, let's mix it into the bottom of this Payne's Gray. Titanium white. We'll pull it down just a little. Just like that. So I'm going to have the light on the right side of these peaks, so you can kind of already see some of the mountains taking shape. Look at those mountains already. Doesn't that look cool on that light, the light color behind it? Let's think about the terrain down here. So maybe I just want the view of the mountain to be straight on. So what I'm going to do is kind of curve the bottom around like this a little bit. Just like that. All right, this is looking good. So let's, what do we want down here? This, I mean, the focus is going to be on the mountains, but I also want to do something else down here. So let's, maybe let's have a hill come this way. I'll just kind of design it real quick. We'll have a hill over here, a hill over here, and then maybe we'll have some, like a river down here. Okay. So right here in this section that looks like a V, I'm going to put some, I mixed yellow ochre and burnt umber together, equal parts. And I'm just going to fill that in right here. It's almost the same color as the undertone. But let's just put some color in here. And we'll make this hill over here, this is hooker green I'm using. So I have hooker green here right out of the tube. So what I think I'm going to do is mix a little yellow ochre in there. Just grab a little yellow ochre and mix it into the hooker green. And maybe we'll have a green hill over here. Let's just block it in for now. And it doesn't have to be put in perfect right now. Just block the color in like this. Just get some color down there because it's all going to change. It's all going to change here. What I like to do once I put a color down, I like to mix another color in it while it's wet. So let's add a little white to the top of the hill. Just blend it in there at the very top, titanium white. It's going to give us some different values in the green already while it's wet. You see that? So it just doesn't look like one color up there. And you can add a little darker greens down in here if you want for shadow. Just a few streaks. And then lightly blend it. So on this hill here, let's make this yellow ochre. So I got yellow ochre over here, and I think I'm going to add a little more yellow to it, and a little bit of burnt umber, just a little. And let's just have like a yellow hill over on this side. Might end up turning green. Looks like it might. Light green. This is yellow ochre with a little more yellow in it to lighten it up, with a little bit of burnt umber. Let's do the same thing and grab some white and lighten up just the very top, just to get a different flavor going in there. Just like that. Now let's grab some burnt umber here, and let's just put in some dark streaks down here that look like maybe some shadows while it's wet. There we go. I think I'm going to make this water down here so the video doesn't take too long. So I'm going to rinse my brush off and grab the blue I used up in the sky with a little gray. And let's just put some water down here. Maybe someone wants to go fishing. I have a nice river shooting through the scene right here. Look at that river already. Wow. So I'm designing on the fly. I'm not following a picture or anything. All right, now it's time to get onto the mountains. That's what the focus of this painting's going to be about, the mountains. There's our water down there. Just blending extra colors in there to get different tones, you see. Let's do the mountains now. So I'm going to use a knife up here, okay? The way I do it, it'll save you years of anguish if you do it this way. Just to start off, if you've never done it before, take a little bit of this white and let's just add a little bit of gray to it, okay? Just a little. Maybe that's too much. Just to tone it down a little bit so it's not bright white, okay? So just a little gray, light gray. See that? It'll still look white, but it's not going to be bright white. Okay, there we go. See the difference between the two? Now let's start. What I like to do, let's just start on, get a little roll on your knife. And let's follow, you see how the peaks are all like angled a certain way? So if you're just starting out and you're new, let's start on this peak on the right. We're going to do each peak with just a little bit at first. Put your knife up there on the right side and follow the edge of the mountain and just slide to the right. Follow the edge. Grab a little more paint, just a little roll. Let's go to this one. Barely touch it and then pull it to the right. I probably have enough paint on there. Let's go to this peak. And what you do is you pull your knife down and then grab a little roll, okay? Let's go to the right of this peak and just pull it a little bit. Don't go down too far yet, okay? Just enough to show that there's snow on the top of the peaks, okay? This peak is kind of flat, but that's okay. Just follow the angle of the mountain. This one too. Just follow the angle. Just pull a little bit to the right. Very good. Okay, so this is a beginner's mountain, okay? So now we want to do let's do this one in the middle. This is going to be the main focus. So get a little more on your blade. Now let's come down underneath this and let's come to the left just a little with your blade and pull down another section of white just underneath it. And let's do it again. Pull it to the right. Don't come down too fast. Don't pull your knife down. We're going to the right. Now, the same thing over here. Let's come in underneath that paint up there and pull it to the right. These look okay over here. Pull everything towards the right, okay? Very gently. You want to let some of the color underneath show through, okay? They call that breaks when you get your snow to break, okay? Up here at the top, it's okay to have a lot of snow because the peaks are going to have a lot of snow up there. But look at that. Doesn't that look cool? It doesn't, I think it doesn't get easier than that, but now here's what you can do. Like this mountain's pretty big here. You could add some snow like in the back here. Like maybe there's just a little peak back here that's hidden, okay? What I like to do is continue some of these down now, like this. This one here, just bring the streak further down. This one here. Now let's put one over here. Look at that. That looks amazing. Now we're going to put another color on this side. So take that same color you just used. And we're going to add a little blue to it from the sky to darken it up a little bit. And then we're going to add a little more gray to it. A little gray over here. So it's going to be like a grayish blue color. A lot darker than what we've put up there. Now what we're going to do is put color on the other side. Now, if your peaks are small, this knife is too big to fit in here, so the knife has a smaller edge here on the other side. You see that flat edge? So it looks like I'm going to have to use the small edge pretty much everywhere. So it's the same principle, just get a little bit of that blue on your knife and come up next to the white, right next to it, and pull to the left. Everywhere you have white, pull a little bit of this blue color. Even down here where it's flat, you'll see what I mean. Let's start at the peak. Stay left of your snow and pull. Some places you don't have to fill in the blue. Just leave the gray underneath come through. Just like that. And you don't have to fill it all in either. Try here not to cover your white over here. Now see how this white is starting to level out here? You can still put this blue underneath. I'm going to go to the large side of my knife now. And put some blue underneath. It'll look like a cliff right there, okay? Now see, I put a little bit of white here, remember? So let's just put a little bit of blue next to it. Just a little bit. It'll look like another peak in there, if you can see that far. But this is this side of the mountain now, the left side. You just take your time and come up to your white with your knife and pull the blue. And it doesn't have to fill in all the way. That's why we use the gray color underneath on the mountain. Payne's gray with a little white in it. And this color that I used on the mountain, you could use black or a dark gray. You can use any color you want. Dark blue. Depends on what you're going for. But right now, in this painting, I'm trying to make it look real, like nature. So I know there's a lot of different ways to do art, but this way I'm showing you is like how to try and make it look like an oil painting, and it looks more like nature. And I don't want it to look like a cartoon. You know, sometimes when you use acrylic paint, it ends up looking like a cartoon, but not if you do it this way. Look at that mountain. Okay, that was the focus of this video, was how to do a mountain, and hopefully you got something out of that. I think it looks pretty good. Now there's some other tricks you can do. Take a big filbert brush and clean it off and dry it off with your paper towel, and at the bottom of this mountain, let's blend the bottom in just a little. Okay, it's already getting dry, but I'm going to put a little bit of white on my brush now. A little bit of titanium white. And make sure wet your brush just a little, okay? And let's put some white down here at the bottom to make it look like fog or mist. Just blend it in down there at the bottom. It'll soak in, but it's going to help make the mountain look further back, okay? Look at that. At first you're going to be afraid of, like, wow, he's putting white down here. He's putting white all over his mountain. But watch, in 5 minutes you're going to see this white is going to fade away or soak in, and then you're going to be able to, it's going to look good. I mean, to me it already looks good. It helped make the mountain look further back already, to me. I really like that. Let me see, I keep getting texts. Oh, it's Lisa, my bandmate. We're playing tonight at in Seattle. We're playing at the Showboat. If you're in Seattle, come and see us. We're at the Showboat. We play from 7 to 10. It's a free show. Let's put some, I'm going to put some distant trees on this hill here. I think I'm just going to do them up here on this corner. just to see what it looks like. I'm going to put some trees up here. With a, this is a oil fan brush. And pull some of that green out into the light green. Just like that, so it looks like trees over there. I'm gonna try, since this was just more about the mountain today, I'm just gonna try and make this pretty easy. Put some trees over here in the same manner. Just let the fan brush create the tree up there. This side could be a little bigger because the hill's a little closer to us. Sometimes you gotta wet your brush a little. All right, there's some trees over there. Trying to think of what to put down here because I want this river's pretty close to us now. So there's really not much I can do here. I have to put some bushes here for sure on this side of the river. I'll just put an evergreen tree over here. See how I missed the tree there because it's the same color? That way I don't have to make that lighter. Put a few trees here. Very good. Look at this yellow. This looks kind of cool, doesn't it? I want to put a tree right here on top of this yellow and see what it looks like. Put some bushes down here. Let's try a tree right there. Over this yellow. I'm kind of curious to see what it's going to look like. Just take your time with these branches. You don't have to come down fast, and try and make each tree look a little different if you can. I like to fill them in just a little down here in the middle. Fill them up a little bit. That looks cool. It really looks good on the contrast on top of this mountain. You see the contrast? That's why I like making dark trees. Wow. I really like this yellow color with the dark green, you know. I think we need a little small one right here, because I like the way this dark looks on that yellow. I'll put a small evergreen tree right next to that one. Look at that. That is amazing. You know what this needs? You know what this needs is a little baby one right here. Little baby tree. Just like that. It's looking pretty good. Look at that water. Ready to go fishing. Put some land down here. Well, anyway, this video is supposed to be about the mountain, so. But look at how see how dark I make these. This is Hooker's green, right? And I put black in it, right? Now, if you haven't seen my videos before, what I like to do is take the same color now, and let's take a little bit of this over here and add a little white to it. Just a little white. Now, fill your fan brush up, and let's highlight. We'll have this big tree in the front here, so what I'm going to do is come down and highlight the right side of this tree. Very small. Tap it very lightly so you get a lot of branches in there, okay? Just on the right side. You see how it brought the branches out on that tree? And this one in the back, this is a little one in the back. Let's just come down very gently, small taps on it, just to make the branches stand out, okay? Very lightly with your the corner of the brush. Trying to hit just the top part of the branches. See that? See the difference between those two? This one has dimension now. This one doesn't. Like, this is the shady side in there, the dark part, where the sun's not hitting back there, okay? Let's highlight these trees the same way. the way I designed this, the light is coming from the right. See the snow? The sun's over here on the right, coming down. So we want to just hit the right side of these trees here with this color. Just hit the top part of the branches if you can. And in the middle a little bit. Very, very small touches. Very small touches. Don't try and blend it in. You're just setting the paint on top of the other color. Okay? It's kind of like how we did the knife work up there. This is the final color. You don't want to blend it in like we do the clouds and the water and the grass. All right, guys, this is looking pretty good. And I don't have anybody on. That's crazy. Well, it is Saturday, I guess. Everybody's out doing something. I need another one. But man, I'm really excited about this one. All right, so if you remember the beginning, I put the, see how the undercoat is starting to show through a little bit now? The undertone. It kind of helps the painting out. You can kind of see it all underneath there now. Now, if I had white underneath there, it wouldn't look as good. It looks pretty good. You could use any undertone you want, any color, even green. It's looking pretty good. I like to put a pathway in back here. It is raining in Seattle, and we got a show, and I got to bring all the gear tonight because the girls I play with, they don't like the sound system over there. So they want me to bring my sound system so I can mix everything. So I'm going to have to deal with rain and cold. That's all right. So let's put a pathway coming from back here somewhere. Just putting it on the tip of the knife. Just like a hint of some kind of path. Doesn't have to be perfect. People that look at it, they'll know what that is. Their eye will fill it, the rest of it in there. All right, this is looking pretty good. You know, the other day I did some cool clouds right around the top of the mountain. I just brushed them in. I wonder if I should do that on this one. Let me show you a different way to do clouds. Here's the one I did yesterday. I added this tree in on the left. You see that? I didn't do it on the video because these take a little time to do. But it brought the tree into the foreground, which I like. It's not even done yet. But you could do that here. You could run, you know, a tree trunk between here and bring it all the way up here, and it'll look like the trees coming from the side. But so far, this is a good layout. It's just a mountain and a couple hills and water here. Thinking about maybe just putting a few bushes down here at the bottom and lining some water. Put maybe some rocks in the water here. Nobody's on, so what I'm going to do is grab some white on this knife and let's put a few clouds up there. This is a good way to do clouds. So just get a little bit of paint on this knife. It's a long diamond type knife. And let's start by putting a few small ones here at the bottom. Just take your knife and rub some paint in there like that. Really small clouds down here near the bottom, okay? Just rub it in there with your knife like that. Very small. Let's do one over here. Now we got to get a brush on it now. Okay, now put your knife down and grab your big filbert brush. Rinse your big filbert brush off and dry it off with a paper towel or rag, and lightly, very lightly, go across these clouds. Very lightly. Not too, don't press too hard, just very lightly. Just to get the paint to move a little bit. It's a cool way to do clouds, okay? Just like that. If you press too hard, the brightness of the cloud will go away. And I want it to stay kind of white. Let's put a few more in up here. We'll kind of follow some of this white that's coming in from the sides. Let's follow this white here and kind of swoop it down like this. Okay. Just like that. Now grab your brush again and let's pull it to the left very lightly. Now blend it down a bit. Just like that. Some of this area, you see how we got some white in here at the back? Go ahead and you can blend that in just a little so it kind of matches what's already up there. But leave this up here pretty bright. See how I'm kind of blending just the back part of it? So it looks like it's coming from there forward. Let's do one more on this side and that's it. I don't want to bore you with my clouds. So we'll pull the white in from here. And maybe one up here. That's enough. Wipe your brush off. And let's pull this one to the right first. Very lightly. And this back side here, you can blend that a little more back here so it kind of blends into that big white thing up here. Just like that. Alright, good enough. I'm not going to do any more. I can see I could probably do another one in here, but I don't want to bore you with the clouds. This is a cool way to do clouds. Alright, I think I'm going to finish this up. I'll put the bushes down there at the bottom. Let me adjust this camera so you can see the bottom. There we go. I had it zoomed in. I forgot about that. So, put some dirt down here. I'm going to get a little my number 8 filbert brush, and let's put a little brown dirt here at the bottom, which I have a mixture of burnt umber and yellow ochre. I'm just going to put some color down here around the bottom of the trees, just very loosely, just right into the green, and then pull it down a little bit, right into the green. It's almost like a glaze of brown. Very good. I'm going to grab a knife now and put a edge to bottom now. I wanted to put some water in here first before I put these trees. So now with the water, it's almost like doing the mountains up here with white, but keep your knife straight. Right at the edge of the ground, keep your knife straight. And you'll have to move your knife because the ground's not level. Just move your knife up to match where the ground is, okay? And just pull some color straight across. Just like that. Let's put some more water in here. That's enough. Just keep your knife straight when you put that water in. I'm going to use some dark green now to put some bushes down here. This is the hooker's green with some black in it. I'll highlight these bushes for you. We'll just put a few bushes there and just a couple over here. Nothing too big. okay? Just a little bit of color at the bottom of the river, okay? Don't get too dramatic. Now we got to pick a color out to highlight these bushes here. Like, you can do it the same way if you want to keep it simple. I've just added white to this color. Or we can use yellow ochre down here, or orange ochre, or we could use a bunch of different colors. Let's try making it a real bright green. So what I did, I took some yellow earlier, I mixed it into the hooker green, and I got this light green here. So let's make it even a little lighter by adding some white to it. And just fill up your fan brush. This is the same way how we do the evergreen trees. We're just going to want to tap it very lightly with the corner. And let's design some bushes down here. Maybe I'll have different colors in here. I'll have some like light green like this. Over here, I'm just barely touching it so some of the color underneath stays in the bush, okay? Now I'm going to get a little yellow ochre on my brush. I'm not even going to wipe it off. I'm just going to grab some yellow ochre here. And let's make a yellow ochre bush right here. And doesn't seem bright enough. Put one down here. I don't want to overdo it with color. Rinse your fan brush off, and we're going to add some flowers to this with the white. Just grab a little bit of white on your fan brush, and let's put a little bit of flowers in here. That's enough. Don't overkill it. So I'm going to use the light green to highlight all these bushes back here. This light green that I made, I'm going to add a little yellow to it. Wet. We got a lot of bushes we can put in here. I forgot about underneath these evergreen trees. These bushes take a little practice. You don't want to press it in too hard. You want to leave some of the color show through, okay? You just want to touch it lightly. And leave some dark color at the bottom, okay? Takes a little practice to know where to put this color. You just gotta put one in and then imagine where there would be some more bushes, okay? Maybe there's a big bush right there, okay? It's always good to add a different color in there too somewhere. It makes the green stand out more. So this is yellow ochre. Just like that, not too much. All right, guys, I think that's about good enough. This one came out really good. I'm happy with it. This was supposed to be just a mountain, a mountain video, but man, I think I really like it. Let me test my brush before I put a bird up there. I should have went and got a new liner brush today. Yeah, it's still making them fat, but let's see if I can get one bird up in here that doesn't look too fat. There we go. Try not to make your birds look like too big, you know. You just need a small little V shape in there, okay? All right, that's all I'm going to do. I'll put my twigs in later, and I'll post this on the community page. See how fat they are with this brush. So I won't be able to do any twigs. Look at that. I know there's a lot of contrast in there, but I like it with the dark trees way in the back. I just like that because it looks pretty good. I got 2 people on now. Thanks for showing up. I was just about to end it. So this started out as a mountain video, then I went ahead and finished it. But I did some pretty cool clouds today, so if you just joined in, you could go back and see how I did these clouds. They're pretty cool, and how I highlighted these trees, and highlighted all these bushes in here. It came out pretty good. I'm really happy with it. So this is a good video. Probably one of my favorites so far for landscape. All right, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. I'm off to go do a show. I got a show tonight here in Seattle. So that'll be fun. All right. Cheers.